The Art of Indifference, How to Stop Reacting to Provocations. Introduction. In life, we constantly encounter situations where people or events attempt to provoke us. Whether it's a rude comment, a frustrating situation, or an unexpected challenge, our instinctive reaction is often emotional. But what if you could master the art of indifference? What if you could remain calm, unshaken, and in control no matter what happens around you? Many of us allow external events to dictate our inner peace. We react impulsively to criticism, anger, or disrespect, giving power to those who seek to disrupt our emotional balance. But imagine a different reality, one where you hold the reins of your emotions, unaffected by the chaos around you. This isn't about suppressing feelings or becoming apathetic. It's about achieving emotional mastery and inner strength. The philosophy of Stoicism offers a roadmap for this kind of resilience. Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus emphasized focusing only on what is within our control and disregarding everything else. They believed true power lies in our ability to remain unaffected by insults, criticism, or external negativity. In this video, we'll explore the philosophy behind emotional detachment, the wisdom of the Stoics, and practical strategies to stop reacting to provocations. We'll examine why we react emotionally, the illusion of control, and the consequences of emotional impulsivity. We'll then dive into specific techniques that will help you master the art of indifference, empowering you to navigate life with unwavering composure. By the end of this discussion, you'll have the tools to handle difficult people, unexpected challenges, and daily frustrations with grace and clarity. True strength comes not from fighting every battle, but from knowing when to remain silent, when to let go, and when to walk away with your peace intact. Let's begin this journey toward emotional resilience and freedom. Chapter 1. Understanding Emotional Reactions. Why do we react emotionally? Emotional reactions are a natural part of human existence. They arise from deeply ingrained instincts developed over centuries of evolution. Our emotional responses often emerge in reaction to external stimuli, especially when we perceive a threat, whether physical, emotional, or psychological. When our brain senses danger, it activates the fight or flight response, a survival mechanism that prepares us to confront or flee from a threat. In the modern world, however, these same instincts can sometimes work against us. The threats we encounter today are not always physical but often come in the form of stressful situations, interpersonal conflicts, or challenges that require a different kind of response. While our fight or flight response might have been effective in primitive settings, today, it can trigger emotional reactions that are unnecessary and counterproductive. For example, imagine someone insults you during a conversation. Your brain may perceive this as a personal attack, triggering a defensive emotional response, anger, frustration, or a desire for retaliation. However, if you step back and evaluate the situation rationally, you may realize that the insult is just words. It holds power only if you allow it to affect your emotions and sense of self. The illusion of control. One reason people often react emotionally is the belief that expressing anger or frustration will allow them to regain control over a situation. This belief stems from the idea that emotional expression, especially anger, conveys power or dominance. The illusion is that by reacting, you are asserting your authority over the situation. But in reality, this is not control. It's a surrender of emotional autonomy. True power lies not in reacting impulsively, but in exercising restraint. When you choose not to react emotionally, you are in fact taking control of your inner state. This ability to control your emotions, rather than allowing them to control you, is a crucial skill in personal development and emotional intelligence. The next time you feel the urge to react emotionally, remind yourself that true power comes from choosing not to react at all. The cost of emotional reactions. The consequences of reacting emotionally can be far-reaching and have significant negative impacts on various aspects of our lives. Let's explore some of these costs. 1. Stress and anxiety. Emotional reactions trigger stress hormones like cortisol, which prepare us for fight or flight. In everyday life, this leads to heightened anxiety and chronic stress, potentially causing burnout and mental exhaustion. 2. Damaged relationships. Emotional reactions, especially anger, can damage relationships. Lashing out in anger risks hurting those around us, leading to misunderstandings, broken trust, and even relationship dissolution. 3. Regret over impulsive decisions. Emotional reactions often result in impulsive decisions that we later regret. These decisions can have long-lasting effects, especially in areas like career, finances, and relationships. 4. Mental exhaustion. Constant emotional reactions drain mental and emotional energy, leaving us depleted and unable to effectively cope with challenges. Over time, this leads to exhaustion and a diminished capacity to focus. Chapter 2. The Stoic Perspective on Indifference. What is Stoic indifference? In Stoicism, indifference, or apatheia, is often misunderstood. It doesn't mean being devoid of emotions or indifferent to the world around us. Rather, Stoic indifference is the ability to remain unshaken by external circumstances. It's about mastering our emotions so that they do not dominate or control us, achieving a state of inner tranquility regardless of what happens around us. The Stoics believed that while we cannot control external events, we can control our thoughts, judgments, and responses to those events. Emotional turmoil arises not from external circumstances, but from our judgment of those circumstances. By reshaping our judgments, we can achieve emotional freedom and tranquility. Wisdom from the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Epictetus. If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. Seneca. He who is offended by insults deserves to be offended. Key Stoic principles of indifference. 1. Control versus circumstance. Focus on what is within your control, your thoughts, beliefs, and actions, rather than external events that you cannot change. 2. Emotions as judgments. Emotions arise from the judgments we make about events. By reassessing these judgments, we can choose not to be disturbed by things outside our control. 3. Virtue as the ultimate good. Stoics believe virtue, living in accordance with reason, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, is the only true good. External circumstances are indifferent. 4. Emotional detachment, apatheia. As freedom, apatheia, emotional detachment, is not about a lack of feeling but about not being overly affected by external events. It allows us to navigate life with clarity and calm. 5. Resilience in the face of adversity. Stoic indifference helps us face challenges with courage, recognizing that our inner peace doesn't depend on external circumstances. Practical application. In everyday life, Stoic indifference means taking a moment to pause before reacting to any external provocation. It means recognizing when your emotions are being stirred and choosing a calm, thoughtful response. Chapter 3. Practical Strategies for Emotional Mastery. 1. Pause and observe. When you feel the urge to react emotionally, take a moment to pause, breathe, and observe your emotional response. This brief pause allows you to evaluate the situation more rationally before reacting. 2. Reframe the situation. View provocations as tests of your character. Reframe situations as opportunities to practice virtue, like patience, wisdom, or self-control. 3. Develop inner confidence. Cultivate self-acceptance and confidence, which help you remain unaffected by the opinions and judgments of others. 4. Practice negative visualization. Mentally prepare for challenges by visualizing how you will respond calmly. This reduces the emotional impact when they arise. 5. Use humor and perspective. Humor helps disarm provocations and defuse tension. It allows you to maintain perspective, seeing that not everything requires an emotional response. 6. The power of silence. Sometimes, silence is the best response. By not reacting, you deny the provocateur the emotional response they seek and maintain your composure. Chapter 4. Real-life applications and examples. Stoicism is not just a theoretical philosophy. It is a practical guide to living a virtuous life in the face of adversity. The Stoic teachings of emotional control and indifference to external provocations can be applied in all areas of life, from leadership positions to everyday interactions. In this chapter, we will explore real-life examples of great leaders and everyday situations where Stoic principles have been successfully applied to maintain emotional mastery. Great leaders handling criticism. Stoic leaders throughout history have exemplified how to handle criticism, personal attacks, and provocation with composure, wisdom, and emotional control. These figures serve as inspiring models of how Stoicism can be practiced in the face of adversity. Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors, faced frequent criticism, both from the Senate and the public, particularly during times of war, plague, and political unrest. Despite these external pressures, he remained composed and focused on his responsibilities as a ruler. How Marcus Aurelius applied Stoicism. Instead of reacting emotionally to criticisms or external pressures, Marcus Aurelius would turn inward, reminding himself of his duties and the importance of wisdom in leadership. In his meditations, he often reflects on the importance of focusing on what is within his control, his thoughts and actions, rather than being shaken by external events or the opinions of others. He used criticism as an opportunity for self-reflection, asking himself whether the criticism had any validity and how he could improve. This Stoic practice of self-examination helped him maintain composure and focus on his role as a leader. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela endured 27 years of imprisonment under the apartheid regime of South Africa. During this time, he faced immense hardship and personal loss. Despite being subjected to cruelty and injustice, Mandela did not succumb to hatred or bitterness. His emotional resilience and ability to remain composed in the face of extreme provocation made him an iconic figure of peace and forgiveness. How Nelson Mandela applied Stoicism. Mandela often spoke about his ability to forgive his captors and remain patient during his imprisonment. His emotional control was rooted in his deep understanding of what was within his control, his thoughts and attitudes, while recognizing that external circumstances, such as his imprisonment, were beyond his influence. By choosing not to harbor anger, Mandela demonstrated a profound mastery over his emotions, focusing instead on the broader goal of reconciliation and national unity, which led to the peaceful transition from apartheid to democracy in South Africa. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, faced harsh criticism throughout his presidency, particularly during the Civil War. Yet, Lincoln responded to insults and challenges with grace and humor, using these occasions to defuse tensions and maintain his emotional stability. How Abraham Lincoln applied Stoicism. Lincoln was known for his ability to respond to insults with wit and humor. He famously used humor to deflect personal attacks, often making light of insults rather than retaliating with anger. Lincoln's ability to laugh at himself and the situation allowed him to maintain his composure and build rapport with others, even when faced with fierce opposition. His Stoic approach to criticism helped him focus on the larger goal, preserving the Union and ending slavery, without being derailed by personal insults or external criticisms. Everyday situations. Stoicism isn't just for great leaders. Its principles are equally applicable in everyday situations. By applying Stoic techniques in daily life, we can navigate challenges with greater emotional control and achieve a sense of inner peace. Here are some examples of how Stoic wisdom can be applied in ordinary circumstances. In workplace conflicts. Workplaces often bring up conflicts, disagreements, and challenging situations that can provoke emotional reactions. Whether it's a disagreement with a colleague, a criticism from a boss, or a workplace drama, maintaining composure and responding with wisdom is essential for staying professional and calm. How to apply Stoicism. In a workplace conflict, instead of reacting impulsively or emotionally, take a moment to pause, reflect, and choose a rational response. Ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? How can I respond with respect and professionalism? Avoid getting caught up in office gossip or becoming defensive when criticized. Instead, practice detachment by focusing on the outcome you want, e.g., resolving the conflict or finding a productive solution, rather than getting swept up in negative emotions. Use your workplace as an arena to practice patience, self-restraint, and problem-solving, qualities that will help you maintain emotional balance in any professional environment. On social media. Social media is a prime arena for online debates, trolls, and negative comments. In these digital spaces, it's easy to get swept up in arguments or become offended by others' opinions. Applying Stoic principles here can help protect your emotional peace and avoid unnecessary conflict. How to apply Stoicism. When confronted with negative comments or online criticism, practice disengagement. Rather than reacting impulsively, take a step back and remind yourself that you cannot control others' opinions or behaviors. Before responding to an inflammatory post or comment, ask yourself, is this worth my time and energy? Will my response contribute to peace or escalate the situation? Use the principle of indifference, apatheia, to detach from the need for external validation. Avoid seeking approval through likes, comments, or shares, and focus on your inner peace rather than the reactions of others. By maintaining perspective and choosing to disengage from online conflicts, you protect your emotional well-being and prevent social media from becoming a source of stress. In personal relationships, whether with family, friends, or romantic partners, can sometimes lead to emotional conflicts or misunderstandings. In these situations, practicing patience, empathy, and emotional self-regulation can help avoid unnecessary friction. How to apply Stoicism. When someone you care about is upset or angry, instead of matching their emotional intensity, respond with patience and understanding. Recognize that their feelings are their own and that your reaction is within your control. Use the Stoic technique of negative visualization to mentally prepare for difficult conversations. Before entering a potentially challenging discussion, visualize yourself staying calm and composed, listening actively, and responding with empathy rather than defensiveness. Remember that your relationships are not about winning arguments, but about fostering understanding and connection. By remaining emotionally detached from the outcome, you can maintain your peace and avoid unnecessary emotional escalation. Focus on cultivating virtues such as kindness, compassion, and forgiveness, rather than being fixated on getting the other person to agree with you or validate your emotions. Conclusion. Whether in the realm of leadership or in the simplicity of daily interactions, Stoicism offers a powerful toolkit for emotional mastery. By studying the examples of great leaders like Marcus Aurelius, Nelson Mandela, and Abraham Lincoln, we see how Stoic principles can help individuals navigate criticism, adversity, and personal challenges with grace and wisdom. In everyday situations, at work, on social media, and in personal relationships, the application of Stoic practices such as pausing to reflect, reframing the situation, and responding with patience allows us to cultivate emotional resilience and maintain our peace of mind. By consistently practicing these strategies, we can transform our emotional reactions and become more intentional in how we engage with the world around us. Mastering the art of indifference does not mean becoming cold or apathetic. It means choosing where to invest your emotional energy wisely. By practicing Stoic principles and emotional discipline, you can free yourself from unnecessary suffering and gain clarity, resilience, and peace. Next time someone tries to provoke you, remember, your response is a choice. Questions for reflection. 1. Have you ever regretted an emotional reaction? How could you have handled it differently? 2. Which Stoic practice do you think would help you the most in staying calm? 3. How can you apply the concept of indifference in your daily life? Suggestions for further practice. Read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Practice journaling your emotional reactions and ways to improve them. Try a week of silence before reacting to provocations and observe the difference. Mastering the art of indifference is not about being cold or uncaring. It's about emotional freedom. Start practicing today, and you'll soon find yourself unbothered and in control. Thank you so much for watching The Art of Indifference: How to Stop Reacting to Provocations. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Stoicism for You, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Your support means a lot. Stay calm, stay resilient, and we'll see you in the next video.